Well, thank you again for having me.
Not a problem. I'm glad that we could do this in the restaurant.
Yeah.
So, so
That's a stunning restaurant. Love it.
the sun is shining.
Sun is shining. Perfect day.
It is a hidden gem.
Hidden gem. Definitely hidden gem. You cross like the corner and suddenly it's here. This is probably like the exact definition of a hidden gem.
It is. It definitely is. And you haven't been out this far.
I can't say I've been here yet. So it's beautiful. I say there's a lot where you feel the fresh air immediately once you get outside of central London. And it's places like this that I love to kind of explore and also showcase because it's not somewhere where you generally either read about or hear about. And then being able to show these hidden gems to people is kind of what I love to do.
Yeah. So I'm excited for you to try the food as well.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm excited to have a conversation, all the things.
Menu looks great.
I know. Do you have any idea what you're going to have?
I mean, I love the combination of kind of like sweet and savory, considering it's after maybe oh gosh, they have all these eggs as well. Oh, eggs and avocado on toast. Bit boring, but always good.
It is.
This is the first time you're having brunch here.
It is my first brunch here.
Okay.
I usually do the Sunday roast.
Yes.
We bring everybody here. And we come on our own as well. So
you know you're local when you come in and you give hugs and all around. So
all of our birthdays are here.
I see why.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great little place, definitely.
It's hard.
I know.
The bigger the menus, the harder
it's true.
I'm always happy to ask what the people eat, what they recommend.
Yeah. How many brunches have you done for work?
A lot. Probably at least 1 or 2 a week.
Okay.
Which are usually in the weekends.
So do you ever do 2 meals out a day?
Sometimes, yes. I mean, a lot of times, yes.
Yeah.
But when I get asked to review a place or when I go and review a place, it's I usually take a +1 or +2. And during the day, it's a bit harder because everyone's at work. So generally, if I do a lunch review, I either go by myself or it's more of a fast, quick bites kind of thing to do. And then in the evening, it's more of an elaborate couple hours situation.
Do you ever like just out, I don't know, for a walk randomly and see a place and then just go in and review it automatically? Or do you?
Sometimes, yes. But usually it's planned because I also kind of where I have to be in the evening, that's where I tend to work. So kind of just to minimize the travel.
Sure.
London's quite big. So you can easily spend 40 minutes traveling somewhere, 40 minutes back.
True.
But sometimes when I walk past or I pop in, it looks great. I pop in and I have a little chat and see if they would like to be reviewed or anything like that. But if I see something interesting, it's always good to just pop in, get a sense for the menu, and see if it's worth it.
Does anyone ever decline?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay.
But some are bits, especially more family-run traditional places or smaller places, they're a bit more skeptical if you're talking about filming.
Sure.
But once you show kind of what the channel is or what PS London is, then they understand. So I've never actually had anybody say no.
And then do you get lots of feedback online?
Some, yes. So, but most because they say we mainly do positive reviews.
Yeah.
I say we don't do negative reviews because we're more of a guide.
Sure.
We don't tend to get a lot of kind of negative comments about anything. Sometimes people have a different opinion, which is absolutely fine, or they've had a different experience.
Yeah.
But the majority of comments that we get are just like, this is great. You know, I've been there. This is awesome. Or I'd love to try this on the Food Guide channel.
I always wondered if you would post something and say, oh, it was great. And someone would write, oh, I've been there and I didn't think it was great.
I mean, it has happened actually, but we always do a very genuine review.
Sure.
And if they might have had a different experience, let's share.
Yeah.
I love sharing food whenever I go with friends.
Tapas.
Yes.
That's my favorite.
It does. I understand when people choose one big main meal, but I love trying out different things.
Of course.
So whenever I'm out with friends or family, they always get really annoyed at me because I'm like, what are you having? I think you should have that.
Would you ever consider doing like some sort of food tour event?
I probably would consider it, but we do offer tours for London, the concierge business. So, but it's not our main focus. Like we do it, but we don't organize them for big groups and different people can attend them. But we do, if a corporate client comes and they want to do it as kind of a team building exercise or with any kind of private group, then we organize it privately for them.
Right.
But we don't do kind of commercial food tours yet. So, yeah.
Okay. So if, say, for example, if someone was here on tour, would you provide, if they contacted you, would you provide like what they would want to have in their venues privately? Is that how the PS side works?
Yeah. So PS, we work with both the consumers and corporates. From the consumer side, we basically have two target audiences. The first primary one is the people based in London.
Yeah.
And if they want to organize kind of a special occasion, whether it's a birthday, anniversary, something bigger, they need a private dining room or anything like that, we'll help them organize that and do all the liaison with that. Or if, sometimes I say, hey, I'm in this area in London and I'd love to explore. I like this type of restaurant, and then I want to see this type of exhibition. We'll make the whole planning around it. So we can do anything from just purely providing an itinerary to also making all the bookings and reservations, like getting you into places you might otherwise not. And then we also, another big category of clients for us is tourists that are here for a weekend, a week, a couple days, and that are looking for a full itinerary A to Z. And this was also one of the reasons why London also really started, is because whenever I go to a different country or somewhere I've never been, I spend so much time researching and planning and Googling and trying to figure out what to do, because you're spending money on a trip. You want it to be good.
Exactly.
And there's so much out there and so much information that I feel like I waste so much time trying to figure it out. And I really just wanted a service like PS London that is sort of your best friend that knows you and puts together a plan exactly for you.
That's amazing.
So yeah, that's.
And then slowly you became the face of London Foodie. And so did you find that difficult transition to be like in front of the camera?
Absolutely. I'm not naturally a social media kind of girl. I did have Instagram, of course, but I was never on TikTok and then when London Food Guide came about, and there was talk of me becoming more of the face and really the brand of the page, at first I was a bit nervous. I said, absolutely not. Like, I don't want to be in front of camera. And I'm one of those people that when I go out for a meal, I never have my phone on the table, or I never try and look at my phone. I'm kind of like, immerse yourself in the experience and be with whoever you're having a meal with. So then to kind of always have to have your phone with you for a London Food Guide and film your experience, it's very different and definitely took a while to get used to. And I think just saying, like, if you look at the videos from the beginning versus the videos from now, they're very different already. And you just learn to become a lot quicker in it and kind of what your style is, as you say. So
like your first video, I noticed we were talking earlier with 2016.
So that was, and it was a very different style when the page started. It was a lot more, very food porn kind of focused. It was very beautiful images and videos of food. But what I really tried to do when, especially, I was mainly managing the page was I wanted to show the entire holistic experience of a restaurant. So not only because you can take beautiful pictures of food, you can put a filter on it, you can do everything. It doesn't really show the people what your experience is going to be like.
And it doesn't mean it's going to taste right.
Exactly. So I really, maybe the images and videos of the actual food is a bit less than it used to be back in the days when the page started. But I try and show the whole experience, like the guest journey, what the ambiance is like, what the food is like, the drinks, and kind of just a general overall review of it. So there has been a shift in that. And then I've started to put myself more in front of the camera as well to give it kind of that brand as well.
Yeah.
It's been, it's been a journey.
Would you say that your specialty is finding hidden gems?
I think it's a mixture of multiple things. It's finding hidden gems and kind of showing them to the world as well. Also, the gems that are already in London, just because a lot of people haven't been to any of these restaurants, but they have been around for a long time. So really just showcasing the broad variety of what London has to offer. And that's a mixture of hidden gems, kind of off the beaten track, kind of the well-known restaurants as well, new restaurants, maybe renovated restaurants or new menus at restaurants. So,
how do you feel about the pubs who claim to have the best dish? So
it's hard because the amount of times I've been to restaurants and they have the best roast or the best burger or the best pizza. I think I've heard now. Probably more than 15 times that there's the best Neapolitan pizza. But it's hard because everyone has their own unique identity. Some are definitely better than others. I wouldn't necessarily say there's the best of something one place. I think everyone does it very differently. So, yeah.
How changed?
When I first started out, I reviewed Shake Shack.
Okay.
I think it was one of the first videos that I did. And I was like, this is a good one to kind of test it out. I think Shake Shack is great.
Yeah.
It's just, it's good that it was a tester video, but and other than that, you think back now, I mean, I think I've reviewed so many restaurants now. I don't think I've reviewed many chains, to be honest. No, but if I have, I'll have to go scroll back through all of them and come back to you. Not that there's anything wrong with chains. No. They're great.
But most people who come into London want something different, don't they?
Yes, exactly. And that's what we love to show them from also the London Food Guide. But the PS London side is that we love to get people to some place where they otherwise wouldn't find or wouldn't be.
And how are you sort of merging the two businesses together?
So it's a process, but there's so much synergy between the two. They're both London focused, hospitality, and it's a great ecosystem because restaurants, they kind of either approach PS London or London Food Guide. When they come in through London Food Guide, we also introduce kind of PS London, and then we can, if we come through London Food Guide, we experience a restaurant, then we also know for PS London clients, like, this is worth it. We should send them there. So we're slowly merging the two, but they're going to be, separate sub brands under the main brand because they are very different. London Food Guide's a kind of review guide. I always say it's more kind of the social, relaxed version of the Michelin guide. And that's, again, hence why we also don't post any negative reviews. PS London is really a personalized service for our clients to curate experiences and itineraries for them, depending on what they're looking for. Sure. It's very London Food Guide's more, and PS London's very much more personalized, experiential. Yeah.
How long did it take for the London Food Guide to kick off on socials?
So it's been around for a long time, 2016. But now, if you start a food channel, it's highly impossible to kind of grow that quickly because there are a lot of competitors in the space, a lot.
And it feels like everybody is doing it now.
Exactly. So I think the fact that London Food Guide's been around since 2016, when social media wasn't that big yet, it's really helped in its favor. So it's definitely grown slowly and steadily, then exponentially. Now, because there's so many competitors and it's London focused, it's still growing a lot. But what you do see is that you have a drop in followers and an increase in followers.
Okay.
So, and I think
you have credibility. So
exactly.
Yeah. So that's kind of.
Yeah. And I think the drop is mainly, it's also not a big drop at all. But if you look at the stats, there is a minimal drop. The increase is a lot bigger than the drop. But at first I wasn't really understanding where's this.
What do you think affects the drop?
But it turns out if you look at the stats, it's very much also people that visit London.
Okay.
And they're looking for a page or recommendations. And then once they visited, they're most likely not interested in the London page anymore. Yeah. Because why look at London
that makes sense
all the time?
Yeah.
So that made a lot of sense after trying to navigate through the statistics.
And I asked you earlier if you have your go-to restaurants.
Yes. So it's this. I get that question a lot, or people ask me, "What's your favorite restaurant?" And favorite restaurant I find hard because it changes so often.
Whatever you're in the mood for.
Exactly. I eat almost everything. I love all the cuisines, but one of the restaurants that I absolutely love, and since I've moved to London almost 10 years ago, it's always been one of my favorites. And it's a very understated Spanish tapas restaurant called Copita in Soho. And I love it because it's chill. The food is incredible, good value, good price. The drinks are great. The staff are friendly. Ambiance is fun. And you could go there with friends, with family. If you're on a date, It's really all around super chilled. So That's probably been one of the staples that has been one of my favorites throughout. But then again, It's the same when people say, what do you recommend to your clients for PS? It depends on what you're looking for. And there's such a diverse and variety of different types of establishments that it's really, are you looking for a chilled evening in, a specific cuisine, or are you looking for kind of a bougie girls' night out or a vibe or anything like that?
Have you ever done a takeaway?
Sometimes, yes. And I say for me, it's a real, for the majority of people, eating out is definitely a luxury. Yeah. And because I'm lucky enough to do the job that I'm doing, I eat out most nights to review restaurants, experience restaurants. So I'm out almost every night trying out a new or different restaurant or new menu. So on the rare occasion that I have a night in, I try and maybe sometimes keep my Sunday nights for that. And I can just sit on the couch and either have a yogurt or a takeout. It is also, it's a luxury for me.
Wow.
Because, it's sometimes I realize like, this is great. Because it is a lot of food, especially if you do it twice a day. So every morning there has to be a gym session.
How do you stay slim?
A gym almost every day.
Wow.
It's a part of it. So comes with the territory.
Lots of walking in London.
Exactly. So I try and walk where I can. Because it's also nicer, especially when the sun's out.
Sure.
So try to get the steps in, work out, and just be a bit. Of course, you want to showcase what kind of the signature dishes are of the restaurant, but also just try and be more mindful of what you order,
of course,
and take it away with you. You don't always have to finish it. And restaurants, I feel like in different cultures, is a bit more normal than others. But it's totally fine to ask a restaurant to put it in a takeaway box or with you, because it's always have a lot of happy friends that will eat whatever is left over.
So what equipment do you use when you're going in?
I keep it very, very natural, easy. I just use my iPhone.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't have any lights. I don't have any microphones. Well, sometimes I have a microphone if I talk to the camera, but it's a very simple microphone. But I'm sure people have seen other maybe food content creators or restaurant review creators that have the whole setup going on. Mm-hmm. But I try and just keep it very natural, quickly, because it is a lovely experience also to be eating in a restaurant, and whoever I'm with, I'm also having a good time with them. So I combine it all. So very quick. I use just very simple editing software. And frankly, I think because I don't really come from the social media background, I don't really care if I don't look perfect on camera or anything. It's just a very quick snap. I don't have to refilm anything, and whatever I film, I'll work with. And
are you a numbers girl? Do you look at your views?
I think everyone does, to a sense. I think in the beginning more so than I do now, because I was learning about what it's like to be a creator and what that all means and how engagement rates affect the page or anything. But I think you do need to be a bit careful that it doesn't consume you. Because the first couple of times when I have less views or anything, you're like, what did I do wrong? Why is this not as successful? I think we were chatting about it too. It's very hard to predict what will work well with the audience and what won't, because sometimes I think this video will do great. Like, it's a really snazzy place, and I think this will have a lot of views and engagement. But then that doesn't perform as well to kind of an off the beaten.
And then you could post it, but then 6 months down the line, all of a sudden it hits off.
Exactly. So you really never know. So of course, yes, but I've learned to do less so than then. I genuinely just make content of what I think, what I want to show.
Sure.
And what I think would be nice for the audience to see. And, if people like it, then they like it. And if they don't, then they don't. But some people always like it. Some people
That's true. It's so true. Do you ever look at other creators online?
Absolutely. I think it's always good to see what's out there, and I get a lot of inspiration from the fellow creators.
Are there trends in the food industry?
There are trends, of course. You have all the viral things that come out on. And yes, I have posted about that. So it is, because it's a lot to keep up with all the trends and what's new, what's going on. So I'm lucky because through PS London also I hear about restaurants and what's coming up. But definitely looking at other influencers or content creators, it does help you kind of also stay on track of that, because you won't be able to know everything. So I think you should stay clear of kind of freaking out and being like, oh, that person's doing something like that, I need to do something like that. But definitely, I'm a big believer in draw inspiration.
Being true to yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I was going to ask, Why did you choose the food industry?
So that comes, it actually started when, because I lived in Amsterdam, grew up in Amsterdam. I'm Dutch. And then I moved to London about 10 years ago to do a postgraduate in event management. Knew I wanted to go into events. I loved events and came to London thinking I'd only be here for a year for the studies. All my friends are like, no, you're going to leave us. I was like, absolutely not. I love Amsterdam. I'll be back in a year. And after 3 months, I fell in love with London and more specifically, the hospitality, the restaurants, the light, the vibe, all
So
of that.
diverse.
So diverse. And it changes constantly. And I just love that about it. And while I was working the events jobs and corporate jobs that I had, I was continuously helping friends, recommending friends with restaurants, like trying to explore. I'd spend a weekend to go to a different part of London, have maybe a brunch somewhere or walk past this restaurant and do that. So I always had that love for it.
Yeah.
And I think London really brought that out in me. And then after a while, I decided, I want to do something with this, but I felt like I was missing some essential business skills to really, fly out of the nest. So I went back to study, did an MBA. And after that year, I was like, okay, I'm ready to take the plunge. I want to do this. And what I love about London, I want other people to see as well. And people in London and people that come to London, everyone's so busy and they like to go out. They like to have a good time, but their time is really precious. So I found there was a big pattern in people that lived here or that came that they'd either go to the same place because they know it's good and they don't want to waste their Friday night on not a great restaurant. So that's kind of how the brainchild started of PS London, which is I want to make London accessible for everybody. And when traditionally people think of a concierge service, they think, whoa, that's luxury, expensive, like that. I don't need that. I have Google.
Yeah.
Versus my feeling about Google is that, yes, it gives you information, but not always the truth, or like it doesn't always give you a proper review of a place. But that's why I thought there must be something to create a concierge service that is low cost and affordable, yet still personalized. And that's how PS London came about.
So do you have a lot of the same clients?
We have recurring clients for sure. So we have different products. We have one-off products, which is the most popular at the minute, but we also have a membership option. Okay. So it's for people that mainly are based in London.
Yep.
And or that frequently visit, that are members that just love London, exploring London, kind of want to make use of the service. So it's, but yeah, that's where, I've always had this love for restaurants, hospitality.
Do you get recognized in restaurants?
Not a lot, sometimes. Yeah. Luckily, because I'm not very like, I want to be recognized. I kind of prefer it that way.
Yeah.
So it was also the reason why I was a bit skeptical of becoming more front facing on camera, because I was like, I like my privacy as well, and also because I'm running the PS business. But then I thought, it makes sense to become, whilst I'm also merging the two a bit more to kind of become more front facing, be the brand of PS and London Food Guide. But so far I haven't been recognized that often, which is, and still the few times that it has happened, I'm kind of like, whoa, are you talking about me? What?
Do you think that restaurants feel intimidated when you come in or excited?
I think excited. You could tell some are more nervous than others, but it's every time you go in to review restaurants, it's a very different experience. Yeah. Some are very kind of hands off and they just let you do your thing and very relaxed. And some are more interested in the process and they come and they really want to show you specific things. So I think some are more nervous than the other. And the beginning was very interesting because I'd arrive at a restaurant and then I remember specifically it was Run Restaurant and the service wasn't the best. Right. And I arrived and they were not very friendly. And I said the name and they were like, well, okay, not very friendly again. And then they realized that I was there to review it and their complete demeanor changed and super friendly and everything like that. And frankly, I didn't really like that. Yeah. I was like, you need to be like any customer is a customer. You need to treat with kind of respect and be friendly to. You're on the service industry. I do think that, of course, they notice that you're there to review them and to show the audience what they are about. So,
I think that's why I asked earlier as well.
Thank you. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, so do you mind if I film this as well?
No, go ahead.
Quickly. And now you can see it in action, actually. It's very quick. There we go.
Looks nice.
Very delicious. Yeah. It's like artwork on the plate.
I know. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. It looks stunning. There's also very cute plates.
I know.
Everything here is so cute. I see why you like to come here.
Yeah, it's just very comfortable.
How's that back in Canada?
It is. It depends what city you're in. It is where I'm from, but then there's cities that you can go to where you tend to have more dinner parties
at people's homes.
Yeah, like we have a thing called potlucks. I don't know if you.
Yes, I learned that what everyone brings.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, which is quite fun actually, because then you get to try something different, and that's similar to what you're actually doing because people are trying different things.
Yeah, from their own country or from their. So then, if everyone's from the same place, then you don't do a potluck, I guess. Or
no, we would
bring different.
It would be like a different spin on your mom's recipe or a different spin on the dish you would normally have.
What's your favorite dish other than fish and chips that you miss from Canada?
So there's a dish called rapi pie.
What is that?
Yeah. And so it's an Acadian dish and it's potato and chicken baked in the oven. And if you see it, you would be like, I'm not eating that.
The taste is, does it look like a pie?
No.
Okay.
You cook it in like it's in a big pan, like massive. It takes you forever because what you have to do is you have to remove the liquid from the potatoes. So in the day, my grandmother would have done that with a pillowcase, like cheesecloth.
Oh, yes.
And squeeze. And then you replace that liquid with the broth from the chicken that you cook.
Hey, it's a long process.
It takes all day.
Yeah.
Now you can buy the process is already done. Here you can't, obviously. So I have to use a food processor and I do the potatoes through there.
Wow.
Which is still a process. That's how I do it here.
Do you make it often?
No.
No.
On holidays. Yeah.
So that's a festive dish.
Yeah. You'd have it at like Christmas or weddings or it's just a special occasion dish.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Well, quite the chef then.
Yeah. I like to cook and I'm not afraid to try.
Try it.
Yeah. Have you thought about expanding in any way, like with socials and like filming different experiences?
I've thought about it. I think I've just been it's been a lot of kind of work as well, managing both of the business and the social page. So I think I had to have a lot of ideas. I want to show the story of the restaurant more and the chefs and content that goes deeper into it than just the review of the restaurant. But I feel like that deserves a more long form type of content, or different than what I'm doing now. So I haven't had the time yet to really get there, but it is something that I'm thinking about.
What about something like a documentary of like London's vibe with and relationship with dining?
Yeah, I mean, that's a brilliant idea. It's not something that I've thought of before, but I mean, absolutely. If that's definitely should be on the radar.
Yeah,
so,
I think that would be quite cool.
Yeah. Well, I think you could be starring in it. It's been a bit tough to juggle both.
Yeah.
At the minute, especially because PS London, it's still growing a lot. So it's been setting up a business by itself. It's a lot of work. So
how much help do you have?
So have a still relatively small but good team in London. But then we also outsource I outsource the different kind of areas like the marketing and other bits and bobs of that to other people. So that does take some weight off my shoulders, but we're going to be growing soon. And that also expanding your team and growing like that. That also takes a lot of energy, but it also takes a lot of weight off your shoulders. So it's definitely a mix. I think a lot of entrepreneurs or people that set up a business, they probably go through this where it's like, this is your baby and it's hard to kind of let go of parts of it because it's like, but it's a process and it's definitely, in the end, it's like if you have good people around you, then it makes it easier.
It's your circle, definitely. Do you feel like there's a need for much advertising?
Absolutely. I think especially for PS London, a lot of time and a chunk of the budget has gone to advertise because, again, there's such a misconception, or I understand why, but that concierge services are only for, high net worth or luxury and it's expensive. And what I've really been trying to do over the past 2 years is show that it's accessible and it doesn't have to be super expensive. And so it is affordable and it is I mean, the amount of times that we've had clients and the feedback that we've had was super positive, and they say, wow, I can't believe that not everyone is using this service. Like, I thought it was going to be like super expensive when I heard about you guys, but the value for what you pay is exceptional. So that's kind of the message that we want to give across. And because it's a new company, a lot of it is about getting ourselves out there and our messaging and the brand out there. So that's why now with London Food Guide, I want to use London Food Guide as well to really help amplify that message.
Do you find that you get caught up in the like algorithms and like, do you pay attention to that, or do you just
the London Food Guide?
Yeah.
Yes, it's very hard. And then especially,
does it actually work if you're following whatever they're telling you is like, you should post at this time and you should?
I find it doesn't.
I'm the same.
In the beginning, I definitely tried being new to everything. I tried to stick to it, but I found just trusting my instinct worked more than being like, well, they tell me this time is better, because it usually hasn't provided the best results.
I feel the same. And like, I can work depending on my day. It depends on when I'm going to post something, and it doesn't change how many views or how many like interactions you have.
I think if the content's good, and even if the content's good, maybe it's not, at that point right, or it'll be more popular later. I find it very hard, and you just never know.
And some people are really strict with it.
Yeah. Which I don't know what's right, to be honest.
Neither do I.
I think it's definitely a case of experimenting. Again, being true to yourself and what you want to post rather than what you think other people want you to post. At the end of the day, it's your page and your content. It's an extension of yourself as well. So
how do you feel about posting on multiple social media sites?
So I'm maybe a bit old fashioned that I have a TikTok, but I've never really gotten into TikTok. So Instagram's the thing.
Instagram's my main.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable there, and I keep getting told YouTube is where you need to be right now.
Exactly. It's just, I feel like I should be learn a lot more about it and kind of get my hands in it. But again, there's only so many hours in the day, and I think maybe it's a generational thing.
I know. I'm like, there must be an app out there where you could post on one page and it goes to everyone.
And just the right formats or like different. That would be
And if not, somebody should do it.
Someone out there.
Because I find that takes most of my time.
Yeah, definitely. Because you do Instagram.
I do. So I do Instagram, but when I post an episode, the site I use posts the episode to every streaming platform. That doesn't mean like my promo stuff doesn't go to like YouTube. And everyone's like, you should do YouTube Shorts and you should make sure you're on TikTok.
It's never ending. And also, you never know, because when I first started, everyone's like, you need to do TikTok. You need to do TikTok. You need to do TikTok. I was like, I understand. Now I feel people are gravitating more back towards Instagram.
That's where all of like my biggest followers are Instagram.
I don't think there's necessarily a right or wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
Time will tell.
Do you do any magazine articles?
That have some articles being published. I think national PR is always the best. Yeah. It is definitely an angle I'd love to explore more. Yeah, I've had a couple articles come out, and they've been you really do see there's a increase in engagement, website visits, fans, leads, everything. It is. I do think it's still a very good medium to.
Yeah. I mean, word of mouth is the best. And then when something comes along, otherwise, I take it as well.
Absolutely. Anything really, right? But I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure you've experienced too. It's definitely a slow but exponential growth. Any win is exciting, I still find. So definitely don't take anything for granted. Any client that comes in, any lead that I get, anything, it still gets the same amount of passion and energy.
Do you have any way of monetizing the social media?
There are a couple of paid opportunities for posts, absolutely. And I think it's a balance. On the one end, you want to stay clear for it because you want to give it a general review. On the other hand, it is also a business, and you do any little bits help for sure. I think it's a very niche page. And it's not a lifestyle page. So it's not like I use the page to kind of sell any lifestyle products, or I also definitely stay clear of any advertisements or any if there is any paid opportunity, then I want to create the content about it. And so I wouldn't necessarily, never say never, but I wouldn't take on an advertisement which has nothing to do with London Food Guide or anything like that.
Yeah.
For sure. But yes, the majority are not paid, absolutely. But if a really great paid opportunity comes along, I won't say no. But I am always very fair in saying,
it has to represent you.
And I will be honest and, take it or leave it. And that's part of the deal.
Yeah. I like that. Because some people just latch on to wwhatever comes their way.
It is, again, I want to stay as authentic as possible. And I think the audience definitely also really sees when it's not. Mm-hmm. But of course, it is an economy that we live in.
Yeah. And also, everybody today feels like they can become a creator. And so how do you feel about like seeing all these TikTokers out in the city doing their thing?
Great. I mean, everyone has a way. It's a bit of a mixed feeling, right? Because there's so much how people live through their phone. As I said, I don't actually like having my phone out on the table. And when I see other tables with everyone with their phone and they're not even having a conversation with each other anymore, that I find a bit sad. And that's why the style that I take any videos of, it's very quick. It's like I apologize to whoever I'm with and I say, listen, I'm really sorry. Let me just quickly do this. Take one shot and then put my phone away as quickly as possible because I also do want to enjoy it. But
yeah, it's
great.
It's really good.
I love this little tree in the background. I was like, it's so aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's very nice. I think I've been, of course, thinking about like what it would look like if, someone else from the team would kind of manage it or other people would do reviews because it does. Currently, it's me doing all the reviews and going out every night.
Would you trust somebody else's opinion?
I would trust my team's opinion for sure. And that's why from the PS side, absolutely. It's the lifestyle managers that we have. They are also very much experts in the field and they're on the team because I do absolutely trust them. But we also learn from each other because if they've been to a place, they'll teach me about it. Or if I've been to a place and I'll tell them about it. So it's kind of like a growing network of knowledge as well. Kind of like, but I still love experiencing everything myself as much as possible. And right now I have decided to be the front-facing kind of brand of the page, so I'll stick to it. Is it sustainable? I don't know. Probably not. Let's see what the future holds.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? You could be a food guide for Paris.
I mean, that's that would be great. I mean, I know we were talking about, but yes, it's definitely. There are grand plans for it to expand globally, for sure, at some point. That is the dream. But yeah, who says London Food Guide can, then it'd be XX Food Guide.
Exactly. But do you find it difficult to keep them separate? And you don't really have to.
No, not necessarily. They're very different, and that's how they started off as well. But again, there's so much synergy between the two. And I think I've just been really lucky with London Food Guide too. And yeah, they're different products really, but they do support each other, which is great.
I think it's great because it's such a different type of work.
Yes. I'm very lucky to wake up every day and do what I love. It always comes with its challenges. There's days where I have absolute mood swings where it's just like, what have I done and what have I started and why am I doing this, to maybe the next second you get a really awesome new client and you're like, oh my God, this is great and I love it. So it's definitely an emotional roller coaster. I mean, you probably know it as well.
So you interact 100%. It's you if somebody messages you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for now it's still doable, and I do like to see what comes in as well. And we get a lot of requests from people that are like, hey, do you have any recommendations or anything like that, and we can help them out. Or if it's a bigger ask or inquiry, we can also get them. We advise them to speak to one of the lifestyle managers at PS London to see if they can help more thoroughly. There's a lot of go, but I mean, you also get to speak to a lot of restaurants that are interested in the page as well, or people that I do enjoy that. I need to get better at kind of like being more out there and more engaging with other people. That also takes a lot of time.
Well, it's fun once you start doing that.
Because it's yourself on the way.
And you get people's opinions and their different tastes, and they'll be like, I saw this video and I think if you did this and sometimes you're like, hold on.
Okay, taken on board. Not sure what I'll do with that, but taken on board. Yeah, it is interesting to. But it's also good. I've had some people that have commented on a review and they said my experience was completely different. And then I also be like, oh, well, how so? Like, what happened with you? Or like, was that a one-off? Or do I need to go back and chat to the restaurant? So it's also very informative too.
Amazing. Definitely we'll have to take you for a Sunday roast here.
I'd love to. Yes. I mean, you've been raving about it. So
it will change your life.
Not taste of that. I mean, the food now is already an exception.
It is, yeah. It's such a great venue and it's relaxed.
No, it's really stunning. Love the colors. I mean, I don't know if they can, no, you can't see their roof, but the roof detail on the roof.
I know.
Amazing.
That's the first thing. So we were invited to their opening. And when we walked in, that's the first thing I looked at.
The chandeliers. Everyone should come here. It's
the evening is amazing. Yeah.
Well, it's hard to now film, I suppose, somewhere else after you've filmed here.
It's true. Yeah, no, it is stunning. And they're always so kind.
No, that's really, and it's full. It's almost full on what are we? Wednesday.
Evenings are like reservation only.
And they have a cute little terrace.
Yes.
Oh, big terrace, actually. Yeah. So thank you for taking me.
No, I'm glad that you've come. Just want to see what else I wanted to cover because we're flying through it all.
You're making it so easy. Like I think I've told some people, you're doing a podcast because I'm not very I mean, they're a first podcast. Yeah, it was. But then after we had the meeting, I was like, this feels right. And you make it very easy to talk to. I'm very deep down. I'm kind of an introvert, extrovert. Maybe people don't automatically assume that. So when I told some close friends I was doing this podcast, they're like, "You're doing a podcast? This is very interesting." And I was like, "No, it's very, but it's been
I was fine
and easy."
Thank you. I was fine. People are like, "Oh, just another podcast," but then. Also, I find that you put something out there and you forget about it. And then all of a sudden someone will stop you and be like, I just listened to this podcast. Yeah. And you forget that people can listen to it anytime. Yeah. Like it's out there now.
Okay.
And so that always it stops me in my tracks when that happens.
Wow. I definitely need to come back here.
Do you have like a dream restaurant that you haven't done that you would love to do?
Not necessarily. Actually, it's a good question. There's not really one that I'm like, I'd love to do a lot or so many, but it's a very good question. I don't think there's one that's like, that is a dream. I think I just love showing everything, really.
I mean, there's so many different angles you could do. You could do like the traveling angle where you could do like the food on different trains or different airplanes. Or
I was thinking about, I travel quite a bit. I was thinking of doing like food at the airport.
Yeah, I think that would be like a great idea.
Everyone loves to know what type of food there is at the airport. Maybe that to be continued. Food at the airport. So what's days? Canada Day?
Canada Day. So it's June the 28th in Trafalgar Square, and it'll be all Canadian cuisine. Come down.
That's great. I need to try this poutine. Poutine, yeah.
There were queues for 2 hours just to get it last year
at that one pub, but they serve it now too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I'm going to be for Canada.
In the square, they had someone who did it the right way on the day.
So that's fries with gravy.
And cheese curd.
Cheese curd.
It has to be the squeaky cheese.
Sounds great.
It is.
Yeah, sounds like disgustingly great.
It is. And at home, you can get it like with lobster. You can get it with everything.
Nice. But it's not fries, is it? It's like all fries or is it actual fries?
It's fries, yeah. But they're they're just out of the fryer.
Well, maybe I'll stop by Trafalgar Square.
You'll have to come by and see it. And it's a fun day. It's all a whole day of like bands playing. It's free.
Oh, come support.
Yes. If you come down, let me know.
I'll be early for the poutine.
You have to be. Right. So we're going to roll into Kevjet's quick fire questions.
Let's do it.
Which I haven't done for a few episodes. What has been your favorite age so far?
My favorite age? It's going to sound cliche, but I love the age I'm at now. I just turned 34. I think it's an age yourself, so much energy. You know what you want. You've learned from your past experiences and you still have a long way to look ahead. So I think cliche, but I love the age I'm now.
Answer. What is your go-to lazy dinner? Good question for you.
That's a really good question because it doesn't happen often, but it's most likely on a Sunday after maybe a big weekend. So I'd probably have to say ramen.
Okay. Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Do you have any nicknames?
I have a couple, but you got Kimbo Slice, Bims, Kimbo. So, but every friend has a different nickname.
Sure. What item is worth spending more money on? What item is worth spending more money on?
Ooh, that is a really good question. I think anything that makes you feel good. Whether that is a clothing item or if it's a beauty product or if it's an experience. I think anything that makes you happy and feel good.
One thing you regret spending money on?
That's another good question. It'd probably be some sort of music gig that I ended up not enjoying the music to, or an artist that I thought would perform better than they did.
Do you have a hidden talent?
Wish I did, but I don't think I do, actually. Might have to work on that one.
Who is your favorite Disney character?
Favorite Disney character? Probably, is it weird if I say Mufasa? Is that weird?
No.
Does it have to be a human?
It's a good one.
Okay, Mufasa.
If you would write a book, what would it be about?
London hospitality.
So there's two options: work or play.
It's not that it's too. Can I be cheeky and say it's both? I think I'm a very firm believer of work hard, play hard, and I think you need to have the balance.
Sure. Love or friendship?
Again, friendships you love. I mean, I think friends are definitely very important in life. I'm single at the moment, and I love my friends, and I'm so happy with them. But I mean, love from a romantic sense is also very important.
Cats or dogs?
Tough. I have a cat, but I love dogs. I'm sorry, cat, probably dogs.
Salty or sweet?
Salty.
Morning or evening? Would you rather find your dream job or win the lottery?
Rather find my dream job.
Do you kill bugs or do you put them outside?
It depends on the bug.
Do you prefer a social time or?
I like both. I'm introverted, extrovert. I get energy from both. If I had to go long term, probably fresh.
Do you use your own Netflix account or do you use somebody else?
I still use my mom's Netflix account. So bad.
What is your guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure. So it's actually a really disgusting snack, which if I am in the mood for sweets, I used to take like the different celebration chocolates, unwrap a couple of them, and then put it in a microwave and stir it and eat it.
That sounds nice.
It's so good. They're really good.
That sounds nice. What mythical creature would you believe is real?
I used to think like little gnomes were real. So I used to try and find them in the forest and write notes to them.
What object do you misplace or lose the most?
My AirPods. Yeah, I can't. Now I don't have AirPods anymore. I have these fake AirPods because I probably lose them every 2 weeks.
And don't stay in my ears. What is the meaning of life?
So fun. Love, live, experience, get the most out of it. Brilliant, Joe. Thank you.
It's definitely, it was definitely fun.
Yes, enjoyed it.